This is a countdown video. It contains my own personal opinion on the subject matter. If you don't like my opinion, well, go make your own video for all I care. Number 15. Comet Lucifer. Comet Lucifer is a perfect example of a B anime that is still surprisingly effective. The animation and music is simple but satisfying, though the giant robot fights CGI can get a little grating at times. The story starts off very slow for the first 2 episodes, but once the characters start on their journey, the plot really starts to pick up. It can become clunky sometimes whenever it drops too many plot points at once with no time to breathe in between. This is all typical B anime stuff that we've seen before. The thing that sets Comet Lucifer apart though is the characters. From the main cast to the side characters to the villain, I became invested in all their relationships and conflicts with each other and the story. When they experience loss, and loss does happen, you feel their sadness, but at the same time, get really behind their camaraderie when they head out to their final battle. These simple characters are very effective somehow in a way that I honestly can't describe. Though I wish we could have gotten more of a journey anime that featured a lot of world building, I'm perfectly okay with a B anime that can bring me such enjoyable characters. Number 14. Attack on Titan Junior High. Fans of the original series either love or hate this spin-off. And while I wouldn't consider myself the biggest fan of the original show, I did find myself enjoying the spin-off a lot. That's mostly due to the fact that I love these characters. My favorite parts of Attack on Titan isn't the story, or the animation, or the fighting, or the scale of everything. It's the characters. It's one of my favorite anime casts, and that's what made me enjoy the spin-off show a lot. Junior High knows how to bring its audience real fan service. Fan service just doesn't have to be about naked women. Just give the fans enjoyable moments with the characters that they love. And this show definitely delivered on that part. I love all of the little moments in this show the best, like little nods to the original show, some cameo characters from the manga, all of those adorable Ymir and Krista moments.
My name is Krista Lenz. Hi, everybody.
I'm Amir. And if any of you scumbags lay a hand on my Krista, you're dead meat.
To having Armin narrate the preview in the same way that he does in the original show.
兄に恋心を抱くベルトルトはライナーたちに促され兄を夏祭りに誘う
Little touches like that are just great. So in the end, this show is only really for Attack on Titan fans. However, if those fans were into the show for the story and dramatic moments, they will not enjoy this so much. But if you're like me and love these characters a lot, they will find that this show is actually worth giving a watch before season 2. Number 13. The Disappearance of Yuki-chan Nagato. As you may or may not know, my favorite movie of all time is The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, so I was pretty excited when I saw that this anime was being greenlit, especially since I own the manga. And while this anime did not disappoint for me, it might have for others. Let me explain. First off, I adore these characters. I love them so much, and even if they're just doing cliched slice of life stuff, I'm all for it.
ここにいたにょろね。今度こそミクロを返してもらうさ。返してほしくば力ずくで奪いに来なさい。
If you are into the original show for the crazy situations, you won't find any of that here. It's all typical slice of life stuff. That is, however, given the exception of 4 episodes in the middle of the show. Here, the writing, music, animation, atmosphere, and voice acting, in both languages I might add, are in their perfection. I also gotta give the show some credit that I laughed a lot, and that's due to the enjoyability of the characters. So if what I've talked about doesn't interest you, I wouldn't recommend the show to you, with the exception of those 4 episodes I mentioned before. But if you love the characters as much as I do, this spin-off will not disappoint. Number 12. Tokyo Ghoul Route A. After the well-done finale of the first season, this second season of Tokyo Ghoul had a lot of hype going for it, so it's pretty ballsy for the show to immediately go against the manga in the first episode. Or So I've heard, I haven't gotten there in the manga yet. When comparing them, both seasons are drastically different from each other. To be fair though, I do like what they did to our protagonist Kaneki. I haven't seen a protagonist do these kinds of things before, and I have to admit that it's a breath of fresh air, especially considering some of the popular protagonists that we've been getting as of late. You really see the character development that Kaneki goes through throughout the season, and nowhere is that more evident than in the finale. Speaking of which, this finale is one of the best that I've seen. It's slow, dramatic, and actually really thought-provoking. They could have easily have made this a good versus evil conflict, but the line is so beautifully blurred that it's hard to tell who the heroes and villains are, the ghouls or the CCG. If I did have some problems with the second season, it would be this. While I found some new favorite characters like Akira, Ito, and Suzuya interesting, some of my old favorites like Nishio, Kimi, and Sue get pushed to the background. The cast is really big, and with only 12 episodes, it can become a cluster. There were also a lot of plot and character threads that were completely abandoned. Outside of this, Tokyo Ghoul Route A does a complete 180 that distinguishes itself from the rest. Number 11. Charlotte. What happens when you take a prick protagonist like Light from Death Note and Lelouch from Code Geass and have the show written by the guy who wrote Angel Beats? You get what is truly a show that has so many problems that it should be considered a bad anime, but for some reason, isn't. At least for me it is. So I'll get the negatives out of the way first. The pacing unfortunately suffers just like Angel Beats did. Charlotte's story is just fucking everywhere that it really causes the show to suffer. It's just an example of bad story writing which causes bad pacing. So why is it so high on the list, you may ask? Well, it's the same reason that I love Angel Beats so much. The characters and comedy are just so well done that it really does it for me. Our four main characters are so unique in their design and personality that it brings a lot of hilarious situations each episode. I truly mean it. Just like Angel Beats, the characters are so well written that the comedy really shines through. But unlike Angel Beats, this show has much less characters, allowing the few that Charlotte has to shine. There are so many moments in this show that gives you feels and, but down here you are, can make you cry. That's why I love Charlotte, like Angel Beats, despite its many problems. I can also say that this show never bored me and always kept me entertained, unlike an uber popular anime this year, and that's enough for me.